Once the mineral spring capital of Western Virginia, site of the very first church west of the Alleghenies, and a farm at every corner. I'm Wayne Worth, and you're watching On the Road in West Virginia, R55 County's Monroe County. Long before farming became the centerpiece of Monroe County's economy, and even before the 5th President of the United States, James Monroe, signed into existence a county named after him in 1799, the Native Americans would roam this area of Western Virginia. Now, early white settlement to the area was attempted as early as the 1750s. However, relations between the settlers and the natives were everything but coffee and conversation, as many of the early pioneers were chased back over the mountain into Virginia until after the French and Indian War. When the dust settled and the settlers came back to the region, they not only brought their desire for a better life, but they also brought their faith. Well, that faith required a church to worship in, and in 1786 the Rehoboth Church was built in what is today Monroe County, making it the very first church west of the Alleghenies. Matter of fact, it has been said that Francis Asbury, which by the way was our country's first Methodist bishop, preached to a large crowd at the church's dedication ceremony. Now, the dawn of the 19th century would bring a very unique industry to Monroe County that would also bring some very dynamic people. Underneath the county would be a treasure that still exists today, and I don't mean a little black rock called coal either, but large natural mineral springs that would very quickly turn into early 19th century resorts. Sweet Springs, Salt Sulphur Springs, and Red Sulphur Springs would all become mineral spring resorts known for both their medicinal and healing properties. Now, of course, this was prior to modern medicine, but these springs were prestigious enough to bring visitors of the likes of George Washington, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, and James Madison. And if that wasn't enough, old Patrick Henry, John C. Calhoun, Chief Justice John Marshall, and even Robert E. Lee joined in on the fun. Probably the most notable resort of them all, though, was Sweet Springs, whose main hotel was reportedly designed by Thomas Jefferson. Throughout its history, the hotel has been used to accommodate U.S. presidents, house the elderly, and was even used as a sanitarium in its later years. Though not in use now, the spring's constant water temperature is 73 degrees, and the unlimited potential of its uses has attracted visionaries to buy the property at different times over the past 3 decades. The 1860s would bring division and bloodshed to our nation with the American Civil War. It would also give birth to the new state of West Virginia. However, Monroe County, like many other counties bordering Virginia, didn't quite identify with this new state. Matter of fact, just about everyone in Monroe County who decided to participate in the Civil War joined units that served the Confederate cause, which was kind of odd for a place with a county seat called Union. Though there were no battles or skirmishes in the county, their allegiance to the South was so strong that Union troops had to occupy the county for 3 years following the war. Now, post-Civil War, Monroe County didn't see the significant industrial growth like many other West Virginia counties did, and that was mainly because it didn't have a major railroad running through it. Of course, this was no big deal though, because Monroe County was predominantly the center of agriculture in our state. Hey, this was limestone country, which made the land prime for rich soil and abundant sustainable farming. Of course, with farming on this scale came gigantic grist mills and woolen mills. And even with more recent transportation routes in nearby counties like I-77 in Mercer County and I-64 in Summers County, and the building of Moncove Lake State Park in the early 1990s, farming today is still the dominant industry in Monroe County. Now, farming along Rich Creek has its rewards too. Just ask old Punch Jones and his father, who on a spring afternoon in 1928, while pitching horseshoes, found a diamond. Now, this wasn't any old diamond, but an alluvial diamond weighing over 34 carats, which to date is the largest of its kind ever found on the North American continent. Matter of fact, it was such a rare find that for 24 years it was even on display at the Smithsonian. Funny how a game of horseshoes on a Monroe County farm can gain the attention of people throughout the world. I'm Wayne Worth, and until next time, always remember, what we value and hold important to our lives today came from events that happened yesterday, and it's when we begin to understand the events of yesterday that we fully embrace today, which makes tomorrow become less of a mystery.